Actually, I'm still angry that we gave up a goal late. So I think we had some good moments in the game, good start, a number of chances to get the second goal, including a very good chance that we created for Brian. Jordan's pass back to him should be on the ground, and we can't finish. And then in transition, they're able to score. I don't think that we do a good enough job dealing with things as they come forward, and we get sucked over toward the ball, and Villafana is able to score a header at the back post. Uh, Good for Tristan and for Carlos to play 90 minutes. That wasn't the plan. It was not a really high tempo game, so physically both of those guys were able to do okay. I thought Tristan had quite a good game. Uh, Very happy for Diego to win the Golden Boot. We've talked about his maturity this year, and so that's something that he has earned. And a rematch with Seattle, and that's a real opportunity to think back to last year and the way the season ended with a chance to see what we can do to even things up.
Thanks, Bob. And we're going to start with Kevin Baxter. Kevin, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Bob. Thanks a lot for your time. Um, your team seems so different when Carlos is on the field, and I know that sounds sort of ridiculous because he's the best player in the league. But what else does he change? I mean, you mentioned getting 90 minutes from him. It seems like you're taking a different team into the playoffs now with Carlos.
We're getting closer. I think we've had moments throughout this whole season where our play has been very good. I've said a number of times that we've been more inconsistent, and that's what's cost us. Whether it's inconsistent with finishing games like tonight, whether it's occasionally inconsistent with defending set pieces, concentration. So we've hurt ourselves. When Carlos is there, when as many guys as possible are fit, sharp, in good form, we still believe that we have a team that can win MLS Cup. And as we get to this time of the year, we think we're getting closer. If you look at the whole season, the start to the season, the months off, obviously we supported Carlos completely with the decision not to be in Orlando, with his wife's pregnancy and that part of it. And then first game back, just trying to get him going again. MCL, out for a long time. When we finished in Orlando, when we're trying to finish the game out against Orlando City, there's a play in the box where Dayon is trying to clear a ball and ends up kicking Edward. And Edward's out for a bunch of games. So, we've had odd moments that have cost us. And in those situations, it's opportunities for other players. But I'm hoping that the inconsistencies that drive us crazy still in some ways serve as lessons, and that we can take advantage and be a really good team in a few weeks when we play in Seattle.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. And now we're going to move to Vince LaRosa. Vince, go ahead and unmute yourself when you're ready.
From the opening whistle, the way your team pressured Portland and the setup you guys had, you really were very compact and rotating well. Obviously, that creates the first goal. It started to lessen a little bit in the second half. Is that more a function of fitness, or is it because you weren't able to find that second goal and extend your lead?
Yeah, I would say both things. Plus, I think we lost some sharpness with passing, connecting plays. So the package of everything, it certainly means that you keep them in the game. Fitness does become a factor at that point. But the ability to get the second goal, and if for some reason on a given night you can't, to know how to finish the game in other ways. That's once again the lesson. Late goals have hurt us. When we talk about being inconsistent, we gave up a late goal against Portland in the third match of the group play in Orlando. And then that cost us winning the group there. We gave up a late goal against Orlando in the knockout game. And it went to penalties. And of course, we got knocked out on penalties. So the ability to finish games. And, it's a few weeks back when Brian had a great chance against San Jose to go up 2-0. And we weren't able to finish, and literally they came right down the field and made it 1-1, and then we lost a game 2-1 that actually, in some ways, resurrected San Jose's season. But that's never a game you should lose. And oddly enough, ironically enough, Brian gets the big chance tonight to again go to 2-0. It's not an easy chance because the ball, as I said earlier, that Jordan cut back it's got to be on the ground. It's got to be a chance that the ball comes on the ground and you finish it. But same situation. The ball comes loose off of the chance and then off the transition. We have a number of opportunities to maybe stop the play, but we don't end up doing a good enough job and pay the price at the back post.
Thanks, Vince. And our next question is going to go to Katya Castorena. Katya, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thanks, Ben. Hi, Bob. Two questions. The first one, you mentioned all the ups and downs that you guys went through, and still you're advancing to the playoffs, maybe not in those first spots, but still making it. What does that say about the team? And then the second question, you were already talking about Carlos, but you mentioned yesterday that you weren't sure if he was feeling all right to go 90 minutes. What did you see of him fitness-wise? He did take a hit towards the end of the game, but the fact that he was able to stay.
Yes, I said earlier in the press conference tonight that we didn't expect him to play 90 minutes. He did tire out, but the game tonight was not a high-tempo game. It was a slower game, and that's what allowed him to keep going. And so the minutes and then the upcoming weeks of training will all help, and I think we'll see him even closer to his top form. I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
What does it say about the team, advancing and being in the playoffs through all the ups and downs, even though you weren't in the top four, but still going to be there fighting?
We have a good team, and we have to prove it in the playoffs. We're not happy with the inconsistency. We're not happy with where we finish in the standings. I think we have a better team than that, and there's no reason to talk. There are things that happened this year, but that I've not spent any time ever talking about them or using any of that as an excuse. It's on us when we show up every day to push ourselves, see the things that need to get better, and become a top team or continue as a top team. And we've hurt ourselves this year. But when all is said and done, we saw it in Los Angeles with the Lakers and with the Dodgers, with everything that's gone on in the country and in the world this year. Some teams with leaders just still at the end have something special, something different. There's a mentality, there's a concentration, there's a determination. And I'm hoping we can find that. I believe we're capable of winning MLS Cup, but again, you go a game at a time. And so we know that we start in Seattle, always a tough game. From the start, we've had really good games with them. But we know that last year they came here and knocked us out of the playoffs in the conference final. And so we've got to see if we can settle that score and go there and be at our best.